Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the Two of Swords tonight, which has everything to do with peace. Thankfully so, right? All right, let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. So that looks like a big tree. And as we turn it, it starts to look like an eagle. You can see the beak and the body here, the big feet, big claws, talons. Is that what they're called? I don't know. And we'll come back around. We'll come back around to that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the tree and the eagle. Now the tree, of course, is so often related to kind of a symbol of our lives, right? Of life, of the components of being. We can think of the, the tree of the tree of life, the Sephiroth of Kabbalah. We can think of, the tree of knowledge or the tree of life and death, or, a lot of these things. And they are very much representations of our experience, right? Mind, body, soul. And so, I look at this and there seems to be really a real emphasis on thinking about your existence in its totality. Now, you maybe are going through a bit of an existential period. Now, it's not necessarily like an existential crisis, but I do think that you are thinking about these larger questions, right? You are kind of in that realm of the philosopher. And so, I think that you're thinking about maybe how things are going to go in these next few years. What kinds of things would you like to do? What are your goals? What are your dreams? Now, we have down here a lyre, okay? And that is an instrument, kind of like a harp. And it looks like somebody playing it. Immediately, it reminds me of the Orphic Mysteries or Orpheus. And so, I think that there is maybe a great love of music here. Yeah, I think that there's almost, this maybe is one of the great things of your life, your interests. You are maybe somebody who is very affected by different kinds of music. It can become very emotional, very enchanting. You get really into the zone. You maybe love to dance, or maybe you are also a musician yourself. But I think this is one of your languages, which I love because I love music. I'm not a great dancer, but I love music. And I'm always interested when I meet people who just have no desire to listen to music, or they don't, and I get this, but it's like I don't have time to find music to listen to, and I'm like, I can't imagine how I always have music on, so I don't know, but there are lots of people like that, and I don't think you're one of them. I think this is very kind of an important aspect of your life, which also makes sense because my daughter is a Gemini and she loves music. I mean, loves listening to music. She's figured out how to, get our whatever that thing is, the thing that you ask to do things for you around the house, like the smart house things. And I don't even know how to use it really. I figured out how to like buy some toilet paper with it. But yeah, she's figured out how to ask it for music, different kinds of music, and gets so stoked on it. I love it. So anyways, yeah, I do. I think this is a foundational part of your life. And so, I feel like, and we have a throne here, but the throne is empty. It feels like getting up out of this position of maybe being the head of your house, or the head of something within your work. Maybe you're, some kind of administration or management, or in charge of your team, or whatever it is. I feel like in this period of time, there's a sense of kind of letting go of the stress of all of that, and maybe seeking some situations where you can engage in the music. Maybe you're going out a little bit more. Maybe you've, got tickets to some shows or concerts that you want to go see. Something. I think that it really, there's a sense of kind of shifting priorities here. Now we also have over here a 72. Okay, and actually looks like maybe 272 right there. I'm sorry, let's see. Yeah, 272. Oh, and we have another bird in here. This one kind of looks like a phoenix. And then we have, yes, the eagle here. Okay, so, and we have a scorpion. Okay, so let's go with the eagle first, and we'll talk about the other symbols. The eagle, in my mind, these high-flying raptor birds, very much in line with the sword energy. Airy beings, right? Very much about the mind, intelligence, perspective. They are way up there, and they're looking around at things. They see things in a way that most beings will never see them. And so they have this very unique perspective and an ability to understand in a way that, terrestrial beings, whatever, aquatic beings maybe will never, they just can't, right? So I think that you have a very unique way of looking at the world. You are somebody who, I feel like when something's happening, some kind of conflict, or, there's just division within maybe your group of friends or your family, or just, culture in general, you have this unique ability to look at things from both sides. I think you also have the ability to find other, maybe not the most popular kind of understandings, or at least takes on things, because you are not dogmatic about your understandings, about your perceptions, about your ability to feel deeply from different levels. There's a sense of cognitive dissonance, which, if you ask me, and who cares what I think, but if you ask me, I think that somebody who can exist in a state of cognitive dissonance, in function, right? A completely ascended being, on some levels, right? Pretty, just so like person of the future. I love people that have just like totally conflicting ideas about things. They are chaotic in their belief systems, or eclectic, take from many places, like very good at weaving together a composite experience of reality, of spirituality, of whatever. And I think on some levels you're probably like this. You are not somebody who's just going to take the prescribed explanation of something. You're not going to believe, what people just tell you. Oh, that's, and that's gospel. No, you are out here following your intuition, having experiences, collecting your own data, and forming your own understandings, opinions, and they are shifting as well. That Mercury is very active in you. And so this is beautiful. And I think it lends a lot of, it's very powerful in your ability to navigate life in all realms. Now I think people also are put off by it to some degree because they might think of you as being, kind of sitting on the fence, or your allegiance is shifting, or you're so many different people at once, and you're and maybe even to really like low vibrating people thinking you're kind of fake about things. But it's because they they can't comprehend, like, a person that can evolve quickly into different aspects of thinking, and also that you're just so individualistic, right? And you're not afraid to just be whatever it is that you are in that moment, and it doesn't stay the same. So overall, very beautiful. Maybe not always easy to have relationships with people, or friendships especially. But when you do get into a good place with somebody and it's lasting, I mean, there is just a bond there that is unbreakable. Now, we have, let's see, what was it? Oh, Scorpio. So we do have I wonder if you have a good Scorpio friend, or they could have the attributes of the Scorpion. Putting a Gemini and a Scorpio together as like BFFs seems like, I think it seems very wild, like a very wild friendship. And maybe, I don't know if you all would be the best influences on each other. But I think that if you're in a good place, that I can imagine just being like the ultimate power couple or power friendship. So I think, maybe you do have somebody who's a Scorpio, and I think that you really get on together so well. Now, if either of you take something the wrong way, I think that there can be a lack of communication. I think that, there might be really just jumping into the reactive zone more than kind of talking it out. But then once everybody's cooled off, then I think you can talk through it. So this can be maybe a dramatic relationship as well. But I think it's one that I think you feel safe within it. I think it's like they match your energy. Okay. Now we have the Phoenix. So we know the Phoenix is definitely that rising from the ashes energy. And so it is, you can't keep a Gemini down. I don't know how you would even begin to try. So, you know, I think this is an ongoing kind of totem symbol for the span of your life. You know, I think that there are times when you're down, there are times when you are flying high, you know, and everything in between. But I do think that there's no way to keep you down. You know, there are little hiccups, there are things, ordeals, right? But you learn from them. And you, you know, and you take in that information and you know, you learn to adapt really easily. So definitely doesn't surprise me to see that symbol there. Okay, so we have a gnome right here. And you can see the face, the little hat. And I'm trying to see what do they have? It almost looks like I was thinking it almost kind of looks like a little house maybe with the little chimney and the. So I wonder if you have gnomes around your house, real or not, or maybe they're statues. But I do feel like when we kind of have the Cheshire cat right here, you can see the nose, the mouth, the ears, the little heart on its cheek, and here's the body. Okay. Or maybe, no, it's not the Cheshire cat. It looks like the caterpillar, right? On the top of the mushroom. So what's going on here? You're in fairyland here. You're really in a different place altogether. So we have that riddly caterpillar. And then we have the gnome. So I feel like out in the gardens of your life, your backyard, or places that you like to go walking, I feel like there is a sense of kind of these magical spirits around, and they are watching over you. I also think that, you know, maybe you are somebody who well, I don't know, maybe you use plant medicine, or you're just very imaginative. You can go into these interior spaces, or, you know, when you're out in the world, you still retain that daydreamy quality. And, you know, like a child would, you can get into these imaginative places. But I think that this is a place that you feel comfortable, you excel here. And you know, maybe you are quite a guide yourself. You know, you are somebody who can kind of speak to people in a way where you can bring them along on these kind of sacred journeys. And so I wonder if maybe you are a facilitator of some kind, or a healer, or I'm trying to think. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you create kind of immersive art, a writer. It could be that. Something. But you bring to life these different realms. And I think people are drawn to that aspect of you, is that you can create quite an atmosphere. And I feel like when people are with you, they spend some time in your life, maybe out doing things, going on little adventures together. It's like they've never been around somebody like you. They are astonished in the way that you live. You're exciting, and you know about so many things, and you know, you're motivated to kind of get out there and you know, be in the world. And so, you know, I think that it makes sense to me with a Gemini person, that you would be able to perceive these kind of different elementals in the environment. Okay, let's see. What do we have going on over here? Now we have this kind of, it's a little asymmetrical, but fairly symmetrical. So there is a balance. And I feel like this is where that piece really is, finding a balance in your life where you have a lot of things going on. But I think that really the struggle has been over the years. You live in a world that is not made for Gemini people as far as how you function. You are not the kid that got into school and you just absolutely, fell into the routine and you sat quietly and you listened to everything and you did all your homework. I think it was probably pretty difficult for you to be contained, and maybe that was not looked at very kindly, and there are all kinds of labels that we have for these things. I myself am diagnosed with ADHD, which is maybe my superpower, one of them anyways. But the system was not made for people like you. Okay. And so you've had to find your own way of existing. I feel like in this part of your life, you are there. You have found the balance. You know how to, potentialize your life because you know how to navigate it now. You have thrown aside all of the conditioning, all of the rules that you were taught, conditioned with the idea if you don't do these certain things in this order, then you're a failure. If you can't, exist in the same way as everybody else, then you're a failure. You're not doing it right. You're never going to accomplish anything. Well, throw that out the window, okay? Life is what you make it, ultimately. And if you get into a place where you do find that balance and you are able to really exist as the architect of your own life, you get into that realm of world creating, that realm of manifesting, attracting in the things that you want and need, and also learning to adjust your perception when need be. And we already talked about that. You have this unique ability to shift through perceptions and emotions and understandings and so on. And so it makes sense to me that you would be able to feel and see these magical beings and the realms that they live within our own. We live on top of each other, kind of, right? It's all kind of woven together. But a lot of us just don't even feel anything about what's going on in our environments around us. And it's so interesting if you just sit in the grass near the flower beds in your backyard or whatever, you lift the grass a little bit, you see all of these little bugs and things, plants, poolings of water and erosion of the dirt and all kinds of little things happening. But it's a universe. I mean, it's just an absolute universe. Wherever you look, there are things going on, It's a matter of taking the time to witness them, It's just so I've learned this throughout my life. I've always been out in the mud and in the plants and things, but now that I garden every year, I spend a lot of time out there, and my daughter likes to look for bugs and all that. So I really feel like it is so important for us to spend time observing, at the very least, it really reminds you how big this universe is. We can get into these places in our mind where we think, we're at the center of it all. Everything that happens because of something to do with us, right? Or, humans collectively. And all you have to do is get out there and just start looking. Get on your hands and knees and start looking in between the leaves and, in the water, in the shallows, and see all the life happening. Go to the ocean and look at the tide pools. It's astounding. It is. And it humbles. It humbles, definitely. Okay, let's take a look at our Dreamers deck. 40 affirmations for pursuing your dreams from the I Know collection. I'm going to go ahead and flip through here and stop, and let's take a look. It says, I know that my dreams are bigger than my fears. I'm going to take risks. Did a Gemini write this? Yeah, I feel like, right? Of course you're going to take risks. Okay, Gemini, I want to tell you from the top here, I love you, and I love you so much. Thank you for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. Now, if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel immensely. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. And it is free. It is free to subscribe. Won't cost you anything. Just hopefully, you'll be shown the readings as they come out. Other than that, if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. And I just want to also mention, if you have never checked out my husband's tarot channel, go check him out. He's amazing. Best tarot reader ever. His channel is Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He is a fantastic human being and so talented. And I know you will love him. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll talk in a few days. Take care of yourself. I love you. Goodbye. Good night. Good night.